So we're going to talk about the Simulcast station for the Thursday football game. Today we're going to talk about which games TV networks consider the main game, the first main game, the secondary game on each window, and overall. So that Tempe is on Amazon. That's Simulcast and WAGA Fox 5 Atlanta and WTVT Fox 13 in Tampa Bay area. Minnesota Dallas on NBC. It's all and then Miami and Pittsburgh is on ESPN and ABC. So we have Buffalo at New England, CBS early window. Buffalo is the number 2 game. Then you go JJ Watt. Buffalo is 8-5, while New England is 11-2. If New England wins that game, New England will win the AFC East. If Buffalo wins, New England will not win the AFC East for another week. They'll take to week 16 for Buffalo to win, or New England win the AFC East. Or for New England win the AFC East, so take to week 16. Buffalo will postpone it for a week. Plus, now they charge the Kansas City is the third tier game. That is the third tier game. Carolina and Trent Green. LA Chargers are 9-4 now after that win on Monday Night Football. Kansas City Chiefs are 6-7 after that Sunday Night Football loss. So it's a must win for Kansas City. This one is. The last one was too, but this one's even more of a much win. Kansas City still has hope to make the playoffs, but things are looking thin. But they have to go to 10-7. If they lose any of them, you might as well they're out. They have no chance. Baltimore at Cincinnati, Spurried Emerson. Cincinnati has hope in the AFC North. But that's it. They don't have hope in otherwise to make the playoffs. And the best they can hope for is 8-9. Well, Pittsburgh goes to 7-10. And then you'd have to have Baltimore go to 7-10 at best. But lose to Cincinnati twice. And then that's the fifth tier, or I would say, yeah, that's the fifth tier game. Just because Cincinnati is probably not most likely going to make the playoffs. It's a better than fifth tier game. I mean, record wise, yeah, it's not fifth tier game, but this is like I would say a third tier game. I would probably say. Probably a second, third tier game. But just because there's so many good games this week, top teams in CBS, that ends up becoming a fifth tier game because record wise, it's too solid. Especially Joe Burrow back and Lamar Jackson playing. But Baltimore struggled with Lamar Jackson a little bit. But still, I mean, they're still in the hunt. Cincinnati, without Joe Burrow, they've been injuries, so. And then your Jets at Jets, so that's the bottom tier, sixth tier game. Jacksonville is really carrying that one. New York Jets really are eliminated from playoff contention. So I don't blame them for that being the sixth tier game. It's the only game that's featuring a team that's not playoff eliminated. And we have the film announcers that don't call games every week. They only call games when there's they might call college games more often. So they don't call a game every week, or CBS. And they're only used when every team plays, or, plays. And there's not a week where there's some games, on Saturdays or Christmas, or Thanksgiving, that type of thing too. In the beginning, either the beginning of the season, the end of the season, that type of thing. Mainly, so. Or there's too many footballs, that type of thing. Green Bay numbers the feature game, Andrew Knight 0. Seattle is the fourth tier game. And Andrew Cannon shows H.G. Smith. I would say that's the fourth tier because that is Seattle. is still 10-3. They're with the LA Rams for first. Tied with the LA Rams for first. Indianapolis is just a game, is 8-5. But Indianapolis did lose their starting quarterback, and they're going to have Philip Rivers. He's in the practice squad now. So maybe they're going to they're signing. He retired in 2020. He's making a comeback, so he might not play this game in Seattle. But I'm Cynthia Jones, but he might play. So it'd be kind of interesting to see. After he gets some reps in him, just to finish up the season, even for 4 weeks, just to make a comeback. Try to. It'd be very interesting. And Philip, he went to Colts because that's the team. And it's not about the money for him. He just playing for the love of the game. Now wants to come back, play for the love of the game. Or maybe they call him like, "Hey, would you make a return?" Or maybe they called him. I don't know. He called them front office. And they have Las Vegas at Philadelphia, the number 2 game in the early window. That's no surprise. Philadelphia is 8-5 now. They're on Monday Night Football, but they're still a top team in the playoffs. If they beat Las Vegas and Chicago and Dallas loses. If Dallas loses and Philadelphia wins, Philadelphia, it will be one game left to clinch the NFC East. That game could have been an NFC East clinching game. That's another reason why they picked it for the feature game. But even though despite they're playing Las Vegas, a team that's eliminated from playoffs, because Philadelphia would clinch the NFC East, but that is not the case. And with Philadelphia's last 2 LA Chargers, Chicago is the third tier. I would say Chicago is the third tier game. Cleveland is a better record than Tennessee is. And it's a Ken Kugler, Daryl Johnston. And that's I would say. This is what the tiers are, and I would say that is because Cleveland is a little bit better record just by I believe they're game 3-10, and I want to say they're 2-11. Tennessee is so just by a game, but Chicago is not a bad team. Chicago had a good tough game against. It was just that one little pass at the end, Caleb Williams, and I see what he was trying to do, throw it. He just underthrew it, and it was just a little thrown late. And Keyshawn Nixon was able to intercept for the game win. Then Washington at New York Giants is the bomb tier Fox game, the bomb tier, and that's 2 games, and that's the bomb tier Fox game with 2 teams eliminated off playoff contention, just playing for pride, just playing to keep their job. Or next season, going into 2026 this year. Trying to keep that their job. Trying to prove that, trying to prove that they belong still in the NFL, either with Washington or if Washington doesn't want them. We may sign with another team. You know what I mean? So, we have so that's the bomb tier game for Fox. Chris Merritt. I would say that's still I would say that's the 6th tier game. Or the I know I would say that's a 5th tier. Arizona Houston is is 8-5, and Arizona is eliminated from playoffs. Yeah, it's a fun, but it's at the bottom tier game. Can't Jets, I got the bottom tier game. Washington, New York. It's just a little bit bigger because it's bigger team markets, like the Washington D.C. area, and the New York. It's really the New York City area, and with the Washington D.C. area, two metro areas. But the big area is New York Giants. And then we have Arizona at Houston, or it's it's the fifth team. LA Rams is the feature team. That's really no surprise. LA Rams are 10-3, top seed for play, top team in the National Football Conference. Detroit is 8-5. There's no surprise, obviously, like I said before. Tennessee is 2-11. They're like I would say that's the sixth. I would say that's the fourth tier. Just because of the fact that San Francisco has a better record than Houston, and they're 9-4 after coming off the last possible bye week 14. So, but they have a worse record than Cleveland, Carolina, and New Orleans. Carolina is in playoff position at 7-6. New Orleans, they're tied with Tampa Bay for the NFC South lead. New Orleans stunned Tampa Bay, so they might stun. If they stun Carolina this week. We'll see. I mean, you never know. Either way, though, it's setting up for a big matchup week 16 on Fox. It's setting up for a big Fox week 16 matchup with New England. With setting up with the big week 16 matchup for Tampa Bay, Carolina. That'll be the featured game. And that's right, because Carolina will be the featured game with Tampa Bay, no matter what. Because the winner of that one will be the NFC South leader. If Carolina loses to the Saints, New Orleans Saints will be 2 games back. Tampa Bay wins, and then Tampa Bay wins 2 in a row. If Carolina could win, and we'll see what happens. But either way, that game is no matter what happens this week, it's a setup though. But depending on what happens this week though, if it could make one team 2 games ahead if they win both, and the other team, Tampa Bay, say wins both, they'll be 2 ahead, and Carolina loses both, they'll be 2 ahead. If Carolina wins both, Tampa Bay loses both, they'll be 2 ahead. So with 2 remaining, so can make things very interesting. So LA Chargers at Dallas might be the big one, but Dallas loses though again. But it depends. If Philadelphia wins, Dallas loses. Most likely, the game on the 5 Eastern game on Saturday will be the pseudo. Will basically be the NFC East title clincher game for Philadelphia, almost 100%. So there you have it. So I would not be surprised at all. I mean, it might not be. Tampa Bay, I don't know if Tampa Bay Carolina would be the featured game, actually. I actually don't know. Because you have Jacksonville, Denver, a big game. I don't know what game Fox would consider the big national game. I would say Jacksonville, probably Denver. But then Tampa Bay Carolina is big because winner wins. I don't know, though, so. I really don't know, though. I know in AFC probably areas, probably a lot of the AFC areas, you'll probably get Jacksonville, Denver, in the late window. If you have an early window game on CBS, you can't see the Tennessee. I don't know. Kansas City maybe not though. Kansas City might get LA Chargers at Dallas, but if you're in the But I think, or maybe by rule, NFL rule, they have to get a late window game. I mean, I don't know. Either way, though, they get them. But still, I mean, but for in the I don't maybe in the Buffalo area would get Jacksonville, Denver, and there might be other AFC areas for like playoff for like a wild card positioning, like the New England area. Like at Jacksonville, Denver, you have New England fan base area, like the Buffalo area would definitely get Jacksonville, Denver. I could see getting Jacksonville, Denver. You have the Buffalo. You have what else? You have like so. But there's some other teams in the AFC. Like I would say Houston area could definitely get that game, but they might get LA Chargers though because they have a we'll see. So I don't know. It's very going to be interesting how they do that with the Jacksonville Denver big one, and they have Carolina big one for the NFC South winner, NFC South leader, and then you have Jacksonville Denver a big one because so we'll see. I don't know. That's going to be very interesting, that one. But yeah, and then tomorrow we'll talk about the TV networks. Or CBS Late, Fox Late, and Fox Late. This week they're having both weeks later in the season. They're having the double playoff picture. The double early, they have before this used to be 17 weeks. So in last week of the season, every team would have 8 early and 8 late and 8 doubleheader windows, 8 single-header windows. And last week we had doubleheader window. Now this year with 18 weeks, now you get instead of having 9 and 9, because the NFL wants the last both will have their Fox and CBS in the week 18. So it'd be 1 year, one gets 9, one gets 8, one gets 10, one gets 9. Next year maybe one would get 9, one would get 10. But in order to minimize that, what they do is now each gets 10 doubleheaders each for NFL. One does, each network does now. They just added like 1 week during the season, preferably probably late in the season for football fans. They do it late window and they do it early window. So then when for playoff positioning goes on, you can see like the seedings for the games.